You're still watching TV47 Breakfast, and right now I want us to shift gears and plug you legally, right? This morning, we are talking about your rights when arrested, when stopped during a police search. What are your rights, and do you actually know your rights? Because legally, there should be rights. In the Constitution of Kenya, there are rights of arrested persons in Article 49. We have Wakili Ruth Tenu in set, and she'll be walking us through everything that we need to know as far as our rights when we encounter police is concerned, because in one way or the other we have encountered police. If you're driving there on traffic, or if you're just somewhere unaambiwa kuja twende station. If you're someone pia, that is part of stories that we want you to be telling us on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, on X. At TV47 Digital, use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast. Our WhatsApp line is also active, 0793-267-279. Remember to tag me at Anna_Dida, and we'll be happy to sample your feedback this morning. Like I've said, we have Advocate of the High Court of Kenya, Wakili Ruth Tenu, is here with us. We do have Kinywa Njeri. He's a youth rights defender. We have Murimi Kogi as well. Good to see you. We call him Jobu, so allow me to call you Jobu today, if you don't mind. And we do have Righteous Kitui, a certified public mediator. Karibuni sana. Thank you so much for making time. And Wakili, I just want to start, with you for the very, very basic points, right? What are the rights of an arrested person in Kenya?
Okay. So the rights of an arrested person in Kenya are enshrined in our constitution under Article 49. So some of the rights of the accused person is you have to be, this one is not in the constitution, but it's in the National Police Service Act. The first thing, the police officers have to introduce themselves to you. So that they just, even though they are in uniform, just have to tell you, my name is X, XYZ, I'm from this police station, and this is, and then now they have to, now the next thing is why you're being, they give you the reasons why you're being arrested. And the key thing here is in the language you understand. They can't just speak to you English and maybe you don't understand English. It has to be the language that you understand, tell you why they're arresting you, the reason for the arrest, and they also have to inform you your right to remain silent and the consequences of not remaining silent. The normal Miranda rights that we see even in movies where the police tells you you have a right to remain silent, anything you say can be used against you in the court of law. So the same is in the Constitution. Yeah, and also you have a right to, you have a right also not to be made to confess a crime or to admit to something you don't know. Yeah, so that's part of your right. You also have a right to bail and bond. That's there's normally the police bail. You don't have to be in court for you to be given bail. So for offenses that we consider misdemeanor, you have a right to be given bail. And then there's also, for the other right that it's in our constitution also, you have a right not to be placed with people who are serving a sentence. Yeah, because you remember at this point, you're presumed innocent. The law presumes you innocent until proven guilty. So you cannot be placed together with people who already have been convicted. They are now serving their sentence. Yeah, so those are some of the rights under the Constitution.
At what point is someone considered under arrest?
So so that's why it will depend. That's why they have to inform you. At the point now you're considered under arrest now, when now the officer introduces themselves. Unfortunately in Kenya, I'm sure this is not exactly what happens on the ground. And then now they arrest you. That's why you also have a right to human dignity. If let's say the police officer walks in here, they don't have to actually carry you. They have to just inform you. My name is so and so. I'm from, even here is my badge, or my badge number is XYZ. And then now they take you. They tell you you need to go to the station, maybe you need to give a statement. So at that point, that is when now you can be considered to be under arrest. Yes.
What if they don't introduce themselves, or just tell you, or give you a reason as to why they are arresting you at that particular point?
So that's when now we normally advise clients. Unfortunately, at that point, the only point now you have an opportunity to communicate that your rights were infringed is maybe when you're before court, before a magistrate. So at that point, I normally advise maybe discreetly record this when they come in. Press record on your phone, and then I maybe ask them, you have not kindly introduce yourself to me first. Why are you arresting me? Now you see, at least like that you'll have some evidence. I normally say, because now you can't, I normally tell people, as much as you know your rights, you can't be like, I know my rights, and then you start resisting arrest. Remember also, they have a right to use force, whereby where in a situation where you're resisting arrest on their end. They also have I normally say the police also have the laws that they follow. Under the National Police Service Act, they have those. So that's why, for you, the best thing you can do at that point, because you might get an opportunity not to speak out about the rights that have been infringed, I would advise find a way of just having that evidence. And let me tell people, our courts are courts of evidence. When you go there, you tell the judge, you might be honestly telling the judge, these people infringed on my rights and everything. Court will be like, where's the evidence? And of course the police will be like, for us to follow the law. So if you don't have anything to counter, so the best thing is, if they fail to follow the law, find a way of having recording evidence, or if you have people around, they can assist. And sometimes you can also bring in witnesses.
How is situation on ground? Wakili anatuambia hapa lazima they have to introduce themselves and just tell you why they're arresting you. You know, the rights of an arrested person is enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya, Article 49. But what is the situation on ground?
I think I would like to inform, thank you first off. I think I'd like to inform Madam Wakili that none of those things she has said ever happens. I don't know the name of one single police officer that ever arrested me. Every time they bangle you up.
Oh, you've been arrested before?
Yeah, for no reason. For actually just...
What did you do?
Just being a very tall human being.
Where were you?
Who looks handsome and breathes.
I like that. I like the confidence. What were you doing though?
There was nothing
paint a picture for us.
In accordance with the law that I did wrong. One day, like we young people, especially young men in this country, are enemies of the state for no reason. We get arrested now and then, and we don't know the name of any police officer. We don't know the crime. We are not informed. It just happens. Like one day, I am in a place called Eldoret, and I went to my university, so I am going to have food. I go to a restaurant, we take food. On our way out, we are bangled in a Land Rover, and there's nothing we can do. The guy I was with asked a question, what have we done? And he's told, we don't know. That's what the police officer told us. It's late at night, and we think you should not be around late at night. The guy asks, was there a curfew in Eldoret or something? And he says, no, but we create our own curfew sometimes.
So police can create their own curfew, according to your experience.
So would you ask such a person, what's your name? By that time, you realize you have to sleep in police cells. The other one was during Corona period. Like almost all of us everyone I know got arrested at some point. And the reason they got arrested was nothing. All the police wanted was some money, and once you give them your hard-earned money, now you are a very innocent man. They can even escort you home. So I agree, Madam Wakili. That's what the law says, that we as citizens have rights against police, arbitrary police arrests. But what happens is that we young men, specifically among men, we get arrested for no given reason. I would go to the protest, but maybe I will come back to that point. But people do not get arrested for committing crimes in this country. People get arrested simply for being poor. If you are too broke, they will arrest you.
Why so? Why?
I've never seen a person from a Range Rover get arrested.
Really?
But every person in a boda gets arrested.
Kenya, me have seen.
You've seen a person from a Range Rover?
I have.
Where do you live? Because if you live where I live, people from Range Rovers don't get arrested. But people on bodas, literally, if you are right now on a boda, you are not likely to get where you are going to. They will arrest you. This is what happens. Why are you guys assuming like I'm speaking Greek?
But there was a time where Tito was arrested. Sometimes you get, and there was a governor, sitting governor.
You know,
one day I'll tell you. One day I'll tell you.
The people who were arrested last week, but when you know, that's scandal.
One day I'll tell you that, especially now in the corruption cases, unfortunately, they are very cooked up these days. During Uhuru's time, all enemies of Uhuru feared that they would be arrested and the EACC would come knocking their doors. If you do not support the government and you're a politician, you're likely to get arrested. During Ruto's time, now we see who gets arrested, Natembeya, ETC, Wamatangi, until he changed tune. So I think we should first differentiate between rich people fighting their wars and we ordinary people trying to make a living and still getting arrested for doing absolutely no crime.
All right, Wakili will give you a chance to respond to, to this after. But Jobu, tell us the situation on ground. You're an activist, right? I see you, you talk about or against police arrest so many times on social media. But just paint the picture for us, the situation on ground, how it's looking.
Well, first of all, allow me to make the statement that the police peddle justice like cabbages in the market.
Okay.
Because
Wanairusha-rusha hivi tu kama cabbage.
yeah, if you can afford it, they will give it to you. Now, you see, it is almost like the way YouTube pays companies to show their ads, and then the same YouTube, you pay it so that they do not show you ads.
Yes.
So that is how the police work. You pay them so that you do not get arraigned in court, and the person who has sued you also pays them to ensure that you are arraigned in court. So basically, the police service right now is just a bunch of goons who are collecting money for no reason. Because I will give you a personal experience.
Yes. Hata wewe umekuwa arrested. Jobu. We don't want to assume.
Rite of passage.
Wanasemanga watu wa mani tumezoea kufungwa. Anyways, so there was this time when I was still in university.
Okay.
So we used to go to the University of Nairobi to play football on Sundays.
Yeah.
So this day I've come from my house. I'm walking along Uhuru Highway. So just when I'm about to reach Uhuru Park, a Land Cruiser just stops beside me. And acha nitumie Kiswahili
vile inafaa. Unajua hii show inaongelea story yetu.
So
yes.
Land Cruiser ishasimama hapo kando. Shashikwa nishabebwa juju.
Yeah.
Hata hawajasema kitu nisharushwa hapo.
Jobu, just hold on to that point. I hope you don't lose your track of thought. You're coming back to sort your microphone. But Rashes, hebu tuambie, have you been arrested before? Because our gentlemen wanasema they've been arrested and they're complaining. It's only the gents who are, going through it, the hands of policemen.
Well, I've not been arrested before,
Hey,
but I agree with them. Well, I believe the society gives men a lower hand than the women.
Yes.
But coming from his angle, he was arrested without being told a reason why he was being arrested.
Yes.
That's an infringement of the rights of an arrested person. And number two, you see on the ground, mara mingi, people are kept in cells for more than 24 hours, which should not be the case. The law prescribes that a person should be presented in court within 24 hours unless it's a weekend or a holiday. We've seen that in several cases, even Alberto Juang's case. And so I believe on the ground, ni mambo tofauti. We are not following the law, we are not keeping to the law.
Yeah. Very interesting thoughts there, Wakili. But there are points that have been made here that, for example, Kenywa, here alikuwa arrested, ameogopa hata kuuliza, what am I being arrested for? Then what is the recourse at that particular point? When now you cannot, am I obligated to ask a police officer what his name is?
Yes, you're obligated because it's the National Police Service Act.
Mbona yasi niambie?
No, you can, but now the thing, that's what I was telling you, burden will shift to you when you're saying in court that your rights were infringed. So that's like for his situation, what I would advise is like recording. And you make sure as you're recording, you come out clearly from your recording, asking the police officer, can you kindly first introduce yourself to me, especially if they're in plain clothes. Like I want to know. Some people also sometimes just get police uniform and just pretend. And so that's why you just have to ask. The best thing for him, but I agree on the ground things are different. Because as much as we are advocates, we also deal on the ground. We have been you have on a traffic stop. You're being asked, like why are you searching my vehicle? They go to the license, it's okay. They ask you where's your driver's license, you show them and it's okay. And they can actually even check if you have a valid license nowadays online. You don't even have to have carried it physically. But you still see they just want you to give them some money. Unfortunately, that's the situation on the ground. But that's why I normally say, just to protect yourself for them, record. Press record on your phone and make sure you're asking the right questions. Ask. And don't be abusive. You can't be recording also. Sometimes of course you can get pissed off because they're just arresting you. You want that recording to help you in court. You want it to be played in court. So you can't just unfollow, just ask them. Like for him, you can just, why have you arrested me? Can you tell me the reason? Or maybe first introduce yourself, or maybe ask them, why have you arrested me? You've not given me the reasons why I'm being arrested. And especially if they responded in his case, saying that we don't know. You see now you already have ground. So that's the thing. Then our application is made before the High Court. But now the thing here is, another thing also, I would advise, at least now you know me, you might get my number. You don't have an advocate, because that's not something, because if it's an offense, it's not a capital offense, you'll be taken to the lower court.
Are you advertising?
Yeah.
No, it's actually good to have a lawyer.
Yeah, it's good to have a lawyer. Because
getting to that point.
Even with that recording, it may not help if you don't have a lawyer.
No.
Because the best place that case can be taken is the High Court. The infringement is a constitutional court. The lower court, even if you go and tell your story, there's nothing much they can do. It's not a constitutional court.
Yeah.
You have to make that application to the High Court. So that's another thing. Have a lawyer on call. The lawyer can assist you make the application before court that your rights were infringed. Yeah, and by the way, I was even telling them when we were having a conversation, the way the High Court takes seriously constitutional infringement.
Yeah.
Like, because you know, it's even them, they can be in that situation. So they have to set good precedents on how the police cannot infringe on people's rights under the Constitution. Yeah, so the best thing is maybe recording and having evidence.
And in Kenya, when, for example, police wakiona mtu ana record, they usually get so aggressive with this. Then how do we now go about that? As a Kenyan, I'm stopped somewhere, I still want to pull off my phone and just try and record the situation and everything. But now the police is being aggressive with it.
Yeah, and anyway, that's why we normally sometimes, that's now part now that has an issue, because if you, sometimes when they may take your phone, they grab your phone, or they make you, I normally see some, they even actually tell you delete those. So me I normally say just, you know, in that position, maybe first, if you can't be able to do it secretly, immediately you have recorded, maybe send it to someone. And still delete it from your phone if they ask you to delete. Because I normally say, remember, the police also are coming from an angle that if they feel that you're resisting arrest and you're doing it, they can use force. Yeah, so just be, at that point, that you just have to think, I normally say just think of, this is something that I want to use and I want it to be legal, something that court can take it as evidence. So that's why you just find ways. I would say something like that. Maybe after recording, immediately send it to someone. And still just tell them, yeah, I've deleted the video. But for you, already, you knew you send it to someone. And even sending it to someone, it's even the best. That person can also be a witness. Because you bring in the WhatsApp showing that you send the video, and this person can say, it's true. On this day, this person actually sent me this video. Yeah.
All right. Let's now bring you back in, Jobu. You were telling us how, you know, your arrest experience. You're walking along Uhuru Highway on your way to Nairobi, University of Nairobi, to play football. Tuambie, and then what happens?
We call them Mariamus back in the hood.
Yes.
So Mariamu imepaka hapo kando yangu. Tushabebwa juu.
Hiyo ni Subaru ya Mambaru, Mariamu?
Kuna Subaru ya Mambaru, kuna Mariamu. Mariamu is the one that is a pickup with the Hema.
Okay.
So now Mariamu imesimama hapo. So nishabebwa juu, nauliza huyu polisi, menishikia nini? Hata hakunijibu. Makofi kama 2-3.
They feel it's an audacity, like you can't dare ask me.
Unaniuliza hiyo swali, wewe ni nani? Wewe ni maabusu. So while that was happening, so I still had my phone. It was on. So that is where, when you said that you should record, this is what I usually do. Well, I've been arrested several times.
Several?
Yes.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, you know.
Is this why you're an activist?
Yes, that is actually one of the main reasons I'm an activist, because the police are actually terrible people. If anybody tells me that a police officer is going to protect me, no, I'd rather be protected by a Masai with a rungu
than a police.
Where?
Because, well, so your day, so I took out my phone and I realized that taking a video would be very risky. Kama washanipiga juu ya kuuliza ni nini mmenishikia, what if I take a video, ni nini wanaweza nifanyia? So I decided I'll just do a video, an audio recording. So in the audio recording, I captured the names of several police officers who were arresting us because they kept bragging. Mimi ni officer fulani, niko station fulani.
Or they even say they are not
serikali.
Hakuna kitu mnaweza tufanyia. So while I was recording, they arrested some street children wenye walikuwa hapo karibu. So while
those are witnesses now.
Yeah, so wamewa-arrest and then wakapiga. Actually walipiga mmoja wao so badly that we had to do first aid kwake akiwa kwa cell. Well, he was released baadaye, but yeye aliachiliwa mbele yetu. So we spent the night in Central Police Station. The whole time haujui umeletwa kwa nini. They didn't tell us why we were arrested. They just arrested us. So I was taken to court the next day. We were taken to City Hall. So kufika City Hall, ndio sasa when you're going to court ndio unaambiwa this is ndio makosa yenye umeandikiwa. I guess they just guessed some random mistake, wakaamua kutuandikia. The makosa yenye tuliandikiwa ilikuwa something, I think, directing of traffic. in na walisema I was directing traffic
What do you
huko
mean?
archives like ile venye
You were not even there.
naambia gari enda hivi
Yes.
inaenda hivi hiyo.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was arrested
Yeah.
at Uhuru Park. So the best thing when I was taken to court, one of the things I did first nikakataa makosa. And then after that I told the judge and the prosecutor that hawa watu walinishikia Uhuru Park. In fact, I have a recording on my phone that shows that tulishikiwa Uhuru Park and we were not arrested for directing traffic. In fact, these police officers were very violent. Hey, the moment I said that arresting officer nikaona amenitupia macho ingine, I almost felt like my life is in danger.
Yeah.
So after that tukalipa bond and we got released. Haikuwa makosa kubwa.
How much was the bond now?
It was 1,000.
Only 1,000 bob.
Lakini kichapo nilikuwa nimepigwa ilikuwa kichapo.
Oh, that's a lot.
Sasa
Anyway.
So the prosecutor actually advised me that if I have evidence,
Yeah.
you can take it to IPOA and then they are going to follow up on the case. Nikamuuliza unataka ni report polisi kwa polisi? Unadhani polisi atachukua saidi ya nani? So basically I didn't do anything. And aside from that, there's also a time when sasa the recording itself actually saved someone.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine was arrested and I was the closest one around. So he called me, nikuje nim bail out. So in the negotiations, let's call them negotiations. Ni corruption but tuite negotiation.
Okay.
So kuna pesa zenye wanaitisha
Yes.
ndio wasimfikishe station. So what we did, si pesa yenye tulikuwa nayo, si tunawaambia si tuko na 700. Nikaa kubagain nguo Gikomba. Mimi niko na 700, wao wanataka 1,000.
Yeah.
Nishawaambia niko na 700. So the police officer akanifukuza. So while we were talking I was recording and I had sent the audio to someone else. Ndio in case things go sawa, nikuwe na something I can use against the police. So after hapo, so polisi wakanifukuza. Wakasema huyu utamkujia tu station.
Yeah.
Nikaambiwa polisi while I was walking away, I told him, sawa nitamkujia na tutakuja na watu wa IPOA. Nimekurekodi ukibonga, watakukujia pia wewe.
Yeah.
Sijaona mtu amekimbia mbio hivyo. Kuja mbio ashanipiga sweep sha. So, ushaipigwa sweep na coffee at the same time?
No, I've never.
Napigwa sweep na coffee once, shaanguka, shabebwa juju, ndo unaona wewe ni mjanja. So the person that they had actually arrested aliachiliwa free. Wakasema sasa wewe mwenye unajifanya mjanja wewe ndo tunaenda na wewe. So the thing I did is hiyo simu yenye nilikuwa nimerecord nayo, I gave it to my friend, akaenda. Si aliachiliwa akaenda. So nishaekwa kwa pikipiki katikati ya polisi wawili, tunaingia nao na huko Kasarani. So they are like telling me, unajua tunaweza kushoot na tukuwekele bunduki na hakuna kitu utafanya. Sasa hiyo recording ulikuwa unasema iko wapi? Nikawaambia mnaona watu wenye mliachilia, hao ndo walienda nayo. So mkienda na mimi watakuja tu kuwatafuta bado.
Yeah.
So they had to release me also.
Oh wow, without having to pay anything.
We didn't pay.
But Rashes, do you think, are you of the opinion that police are not really friends of Kenyans? Because Jobu ameongelelea hiyo story. Amesema area yalindwa na Masai but not police. Do you agree?
Well, yes. From the history of what has been happening in the country, yes. Police are not friends of the citizens of Kenya, but they ought to be friends to us because they should protect us, they should maintain law and order. In case of anything, we should run to them to report. They should be the first people we go to as in the ladder of accessing justice and all that. So I believe they're not being the friends they're supposed to be to the people. Yeah.
They're not doing their job
they're
as
not,
they should.
Yeah, they're not doing their job as they should. They should be our friends. I mean, we should run to them, number one.
Can they though, Wakili? Can we get to a point where now Kenyans feel like, they have rebuilt their trust with the police and they can just, tuseme amepigwa ngeta mahali, and just running to a police instead and trusting them with whatever they're going through. Can we get to that point where now there's trust between police and the public?
I think we should. We actually should, because they're not supposed to be protecting us. You should feel safe. I've seen even sometimes when we are with clients, they're even scared to enter into a police station. Like we are walking, we get to a police station, they stand.
Yeah.
They don't want to get in. You know, that should not be the case. There should be the people that you, there she's saying, you run to when you're, even, let's say even, you see even nowadays, even if you're maybe walking in town and then something happens to you, and even there's a police officer, no one will think of running towards the police officer, because you'll feel like they might ask for a bribe to just protect you or something. But I think we should, it's something that we hope it gets there. We are hoping, because the laws are there, but now unfortunately, even for traffic police, sometimes you find these matatus, you know, I was wondering why they feel so confident being rogue on the road and everything. Then there's one, he shouted even to me, "Unjasitushalipia barabara." I know exactly what they mean is they have paid the police. So that's why they feel confident. They can just even just scratch you and just go. Yeah. So that's and the only way they start is just by following the law. Because even you find sometimes if you're the complainant, you don't have to be the accused. If you're as a complainant, if you go to the police, you have to pay a lot of money. Because even I remember sometimes I was representing someone, then you find maybe this person, the money that was involved is 50,000. So maybe the other party is willing to pay. But they'll tell you, we paid the police, I don't know how much, over even more than that 50,000 for them to bring the case to court. Yeah, so we really should, and I'm hoping we get to that place. Like even you see anyway, we can't compare ourselves with the US, but for developed countries like the US, the police do their jobs. That's when you find someone, even sometimes when you look at videos, you find someone, if there's a traffic issue, the first place they think of is running to the nearest police station.
What are they doing differently? Because now if they're doing their job, where's the
for them,
disconnect?
I think the laws, but I think also everything falls to legislators who are creating laws. Because even for the US, you have to have the camera while doing everything. And the camera records both the video and the audio. When you're on duty, it has to be running throughout. Now, see, for such a scenario, you can't start arresting someone for no good reason. You can't arrest someone without telling them why, giving them the reason, introducing yourself. Because the law requires them that camera has to record everything. Now, see, for them, they have already put in laws that prevents corruption already in itself. Even though, of course, they're human beings, they may be doing corrupt, but now the law has put in, I think in Kenya, maybe legislators can put in stringent laws to prevent corruption. Whereby, can you imagine if all police officers in Kenya had that camera on their badges, and you know they have to also have their badge number throughout every time. So it will make things easier.
In a country where even civilians, a police officer dressed in a civilian attire would come to arrest you, is that even possible? Actually, looking at it really realistically.
Yeah, unfortunately now I think sometimes I feel it's the laws that fail us in every angle also. Because you know, as much as you can't control people, but you can put in laws to control people. You can't do it vice versa. Like now we can start hoping the police will change and everything, but we have to put in laws that are stringent. And also I think also another thing is it can also start with us. But I know it's not easy, but I know I'm just thinking, can you imagine if everyone took, like for instance now for them, they are saying they were arrested illegally, even the recording. You know, if that recording could have been taken to the High Court, it would have created an impact. Like you go and report, you make an application to the High Court, your rights were infringed, you even seek for compensation. There are people who sought for compensation. Now you see, now that's not the problem.
Come again, Jobu.
What if I disappear?
That's not
Wakili Kimani.
Yeah, but that's not the problem. Another thing also, the police officers may go to extra angles. You remember when they were for him, they were even threatening to kill him, literally. Because just the fact that, you know, the thought of he had the recording, he hadn't even played the recording for them. He might even have been just bluffing, telling them I have it, but he doesn't have it.
I want him to expound on that question that he has asked. What if he disappears? Disappears from where exactly? To say maybe umekuwa arrested and then you decide to escape the arrest?
No. Like these people might, you know, you're now taking case extra. I get what he's saying. Like they might kill him because now he's not exposing them.
Right.
I think that's what he means.
Well, she's right. Well, what I'm trying to say is, when you have a case against the police, especially if you're a witness, this is actually not just in Kenya, even in the US. We've seen, I read an article on X recently. There was someone who was supposed to be a witness in a certain case against, I think it was Bill Gates and the coronavirus vaccine. He was found dead very recently. Well, being a witness is actually something very dangerous to your life. And in Kenya, it is even more dangerous. Because if you are the complainant against the police, then that means that the police is against you. And we've seen this in the case of, let's take like Albert Ojwang. He was just complaining about something simple, but they had to carry him all the way from Homa Bay to Nairobi just so they could kill him, you see? So you tell me, if I have a case against the police, honestly, for the fear of my life, I'd rather be quiet. Because a lawyer won't guarantee my safety. Well, the lawyer might guarantee we are winning this case, but they won't guarantee my safety.
Or even hers.
Or even hers.
And we'll be getting into the nitty-gritties of that particular point. That's a very good point. But Kinyua, as youth rights defender. Do you think the young people really know their rights when they're arrested?
I am grateful for Madam Wakili that she's here to explain some of those. Because one of the questions I had for her,
Yes.
do the police officers work for the government or for the people and the constitution? Because think about it this way. Recently, was it last year, I had a very senior public officer saying he's not a public officer, his work is to guard the president. And I was like, oh gosh, when the president is gone, according to the constitution and even the laws that govern the position, describe your job, give you a job description, they say that you will remain if your term continues, even when he is gone. You are here to serve the people, not the president. You serve. First, Madam Wakili, I'm not very intelligent in terms of the law, but at least everyone knows that the Constitution starts by saying that sovereignty belongs to the people. Sovereignty means kingdom. The royalty, the monarchy, if there is such a word, all power that is given to a king. The king of this country is not the president. The king of this country is the people of Kenya. So the police should not serve the president. They should be serving the people. And then that chapter continues to say that it's called sovereignty of the people and supremacy of this constitution. If there is any law ever written in this country that is not inconsistent with this constitution, then it is a useless paper, etc. For instance, you have been found you're in public and you are disorderly, and you are loud. Now, what does the law have to do with my voice? If God gave me a voice, Omera, why would you ask me if I am loud enough? Now you are arrested according to that law. You are disorderly in public. You see, that law by far infringes with several other laws. She also said that we do not have enough legislations in this country. I think actually we do. The goodwill to act upon those laws is the problem. For instance, let me give you IPOA.
Yes.
Where are they with the guy from Homa Bay, Albert Ojwang's case?
Even
Rex Masai. We will forever, as young people, know that anyone who tells you that he works for the state is your enemy. If there is one person that works for the people and for the constitution.
Of course, these cases are ongoing in court, but do you feel like there's...
If it takes forever, it means it will take forever. It will be dragged forever.
These cases are supposed to be priority cases because of public interest.
Because if you delay, what you'll be telling young people is that next time when you find a police officer who wants to arrest you, either run away or do something illegal against him. Also, I questioned...
And you see, even for him, the way you're saying he's scared of reporting. You know, such cases, they see nothing is happening. People are not seeing justice actually being done. So I think people get scared of reporting. So I get their point where, and you know, if they can you imagine now if a case is, a joint case is done, they even arrest everyone who was involved, even the Rex case, everyone is arrested. People will have more confidence to come out and report.
Yes.
Report, right.
That's the point.
In fact, right now, impunity has actually increased. There are several cases of police officers being recorded saying naweza kuua na hakuna mahali watanipeleka. Hakuna mahali. So that means that it doesn't matter. The police, it seems that there are some people who are above the law in this country. It seems that they are taking the constitution as a suggestion. It is something we can do if we want to.
A piece of paper.
It's like a fictional novel.
You asked whether young people know their rights.
Right.
Yes, we do. Everybody has read the Bill of Rights, right? The current generation, we actually do. The problem that happens is there is a difference between knowing and implementing, okay? Just because I know my rights does not mean that... Willie Kimani was a lawyer. He was hanged, killed brutally by police, and he knew all his rights. Knowing your rights is not enough. And I was suggesting, just as a joke, when she mentioned America, and I told her that there is after the first amendment that talks about your rights, there's also a second that gives people, give people arms to protect themselves from rogue police. What do you think about that, Madam?
Because no, he was talking about if that the same can be implemented. It's not the way he was saying. Like even you as one had a gun, you should be like you should have also that right to defend yourself, not be massive. But because you are fighting a person who has a gun.
If Albert Ojwang had a gun, he would still be alive today. If Willie Kimani had a gun, what do you think? I'm just saying.
But
the problem with us is that we cannot compare ourselves with America because Americans.
orderly? Is it really orderly if now Kenyans will be allowed for each and every person to have a
Is
gun?
America orderly?
Just hold on to that thought, Wakili. And
Yeah.
of course, Russia's will be bringing you on board after the feedback that we are about just to listen to from our viewers. We'll start with some of the voice notes that have been sent on our WhatsApp.
I am Daniel Meli, a student of laws at Kenyatta University watching from Nairobi. On police rights and arrest, it is important for every Kenyan to understand both their rights and the legal limits of the police power. When arrested, you have the right to be informed of the reasons why you have been arrested. You have the right to remain silent as well as the right to legal representation. During a stop or search, officers must act within the law and respect of human dignity, and such should be reasonable as well as should not be abusive. You also have the right to be presented in court within 24 hours. If these rights are violated, you can challenge the unlawful arrest or the police misconduct during the law. Knowing your rights is the first step of protecting yourself. Thank you.
I'm watching from Embakasi, and I think that we should know our rights as Kenyans, because also me, I don't know my rights. So if I'm to be arrested today, I don't know how far the police should go, what they should do and what they should not do. So because I've never been arrested and also I've never experienced police brutality, though I've seen on the internet, and I believe that should not be done, or that it's not okay. So I don't know, the people who are responsible to keep the police in check should do their work, because these people are doing the most out here.
All right, just on that point, Wakili, before it crosses, it disappears, you know, the issue of 24 hours, you have a right within 24 hours, you know, to be presented before court. Now, there's always this issue that we hear that if you are arrested on Friday, which you are the whole weekend, the cells are your home. Talk to us about that. Does the 24 hours also apply on weekends, Ama VP?
No, they normally say 24 hours or within reason of the time, because sometimes if they have been arrested on Friday, they're supposed to bring you to court on Saturday, but courts are not.
Oh, hold on to that thought, Wakili. Rushes.
Yes.
This question that I asked Kenya on whether the young people really do understand their rights when arrested. Do you think that, and some of this generation, people really understand, but do you agree that we as Kenyans, as the young people, you know, the young people 35 and below, do we understand our rights during police search, police stop, when arrested, what we should say, what police should tell us and all, you know, before it escalates? You're a public mediator.
Well, number one, I believe we don't know our rights. Many people don't know their rights. Well, some few youths are enlightened, but many people in the mashinani, they don't know their rights, because well, the law is accessible to anyone, the constitution and everything, but how many people have taken the time to go through it? How many people has the government taken initiative to educate the people? But on that point as well, I believe as we're moving on, people are getting to know their rights. After the experiences we've had with the protests, now you can hear people say Article 37. So with time, we're getting to know our rights, and I believe in another 10 years or so, then the people will be doing their rights during arrest and even during other infringements of their rights.
Right. And of course, as a public mediator, what do you think sometimes causes situations to escalate into arrests? Sometimes umekuwa tu stopped up, or maybe police just wants to check your car and your license and everything in between. But what happens in that particular point that leads to this situation here? Police anakwambia tunaenda station. What do you think happens?
Well, I believe for police to reach a point that they want to take you to hold you in custody or something, they'll have a belief that either you are behaving disorderly or there's a reasonable cause for you to actually be arrested. Either they suspect something, or suspicion is enough for you to be arrested, or either someone has raised a complaint against you, they've done an investigation, and well, sometimes it doesn't have to necessarily be an investigation. They can just, on point, on their feet, they see, oh, this person is having a firearm. Is it really licensed? Let's take him in custody. We'll look into it. There are many reasons. I mean, you can be having traces of blood in your car. There are many reasons. They might have a reason to believe you're behaving disorderly, as Section 182 of the Penal Code states. Yeah, so there are many reasons for them to actually put you in custody.
Do you think profiling is an issue, especially in Kenya? There's a time I was hearing that sometimes ukiwa tu na dread as a man, that's enough for you to be arrested. Do you think it's an issue? Tell us about that.
So, well, profiling is actually a very big issue because according to what one of the police officers told me, let me give you an experience. So one of the times I've been arrested, well, I was waiting for matatu, stage ya Githurai. So matatu is usually charge 40 bob, but ukikaka zinashukanga hadi 30 bob. So I was waiting for matatu ishuke sikuwa na 10 bob. So I was waiting for 30 bob. So while I was waiting, a police officer, he wasn't wearing uniform, so I didn't even know it was a police officer. Shanivalisha pingu, mimi na jamaa fulani tu, tumevalishwa pingu. You know how it's like you're cuffed, two of you together. So while we were walking, so after tumevalishwa pingu na uliza mse umeshikiwa, ananiambia mimi sijui, na wewe hata mimi sijui. So we were walked to Kamukunji. When we got to Kamukunji, the police officer who had arrested us asked me, wewe umeshikiwa nini? I told him sijui, nilivalishwa tu pingu nikingoja gari zishuke bei. So and then at that time I had like short dread. Nilikuwa najaribu kulea dread back. So zilikuwa I had and
they killed your dream of dreadlocks. Can you imagine?
Sadly. So after kuulizwa, so ako like kaniangalia kauliza, there were some people who were arrested for touting. So they were asked, mnajua hawa watu? They said no. Kwa hivyo hawa sio makanga kama nyinyi. Said no. And then he looked at me and said, lakini hata mkiangalia huyu kijana anakaa kuwa mtu mzuri kweli.
Wewe sasa?
Mimi sasa, because of my hair. And so I was like, just because of my hair, you have assumed that I am a criminal. In the day that I was taken to court, I had not spoken to the police in English the whole time. Kwa naongea tu Kiswahili ndio waniachilie. When I got to court, yes, when I got to court, when I spoke in English, at that time nilikuwa saa dread zilikuwa zishakuwa kubwa, so nilikuwa hadi nimezishika. When I spoke in English, the reaction from the entire courtroom was actually very different. They were surprised that a person who looks like me can speak such fluent English. And in fact, I'm citing certain parts of the Constitution that even the police officer himself was not aware of. So that I think profiling is actually a thing, and what they need to do is to understand that we are not in 1950 where everybody needs to have a clean shaven head. What you decide to have on your head is a choice. You do not profile someone just because they have dreadlocks.
Hebu ambie kwanza wewe ni engineer.
Waache kuprofile. Mimi si engineer, mimi ni mathematician.
Hata kwanza nakushusha jamani, mathematician anashikwa wanasema ni gaidi.
Mimi ni mathematician na tax consultant.
Interesting.
Wanafanyanga hivyo. Profiling is actually a very big problem. But I think hii inawasaidia in some places kama kwenye mimi nimetoka Githurai. Githurai, Kayole, Dandora. Hizo naye usipo profile majambazi wengi sana watapita. But in town they have to understand that not everyone. There's a song that I wrote a while back. There's a line that I said, sio kila mwizi ukuanga mrasta na sio kila rasta ukuanga ni mwizi.
Interesting.
Yes.
What are the young people afraid of in such encounters with the police?
Yeah, thank you. I would like also to mention something about profiling. Because if you come to this country, the biggest criminals, there was a guy called Onyancha. Every girl around me said that guy was very handsome. You know what he used to do?
Tell us.
Dig out livers from women and eat it. Onyancha, if you remember.
Yes.
Taken to Kingongo maximum prison. Most of the profiles that we give to people just because of how they look do not make sense at all. I have talked to police officers, and one day they told me that if you find a person, for instance, with dreadies, tattoos, etc., and that is basically every young person, they said that as if you look, he's a public outfit, like he has refused to conform to the normalities of the culture, and therefore how many more normalities has he refused to pick up, including crime? But then you look at most of the people who steal billions in this country. Look at how handsome they are. Look at how well dressed they are in suits. They do not have dreadies. They are clean shaven to deceive you. Look at all con men. They wear suits.
Yes.
Look at the people who are robbing this country of SHA. Look at the people who have stolen HELB. Go look at the guy that we were told that he's the reason why people are dying in hospitals because of oxygen. Look at how handsome he is. Can you profile him as a criminal? So the only person, and I go back to saying that, Madam Wakili, the problem in this country and law seems sometimes, especially public officers, their greatest enemies are poor people. Let's just agree on that one. Because once you are poor, you might not keep your hair. The barber might be a little expensive. You might not get enough for makeup. And therefore you'll be profiled as a criminal. Yeah. But the only crime that you have committed in this country is being poor. Because I can take you to the guy who has stolen oxygen from Kenyatta Hospital. Yeah. And the girl who was around me told me, wow, people are going to vote this guy. He looks very handsome. He's a thief, but he's handsome. Why are you profiling people just because of how they look?
Able to be a story. Who has stolen oxygen?
Are you sure you want me to mention it?
Can it be used against him?
Can it be used against?
Allegedly. Use the word allegedly.
Allegedly.
And then I say the person.
Yes. No, don't mention it.
Why then should I use allegedly, provided I haven't said the person?
But that's what I said.
Let's be not to say.
That was about
People know, people who are watching this know the guy that stole oxygen from hospitals, and he was voted as a member of parliament.
Actually, I don't know, but I will ask you to tell you, say it to me after the show.
Yeah, and people say he's handsome. So the idea of profiling young Kenyans, just because they are broke and their faces don't look as handsome, and you think that every cute person is a pastor, and every person who doesn't look as cute is a thief.
Let's hear from Wakili again. Before your mic went off, Wakili, you were talking to us about the 24 hours, timeline. That it doesn't. Does it apply during the weekend?
It applies. Well? The court takes it seriously, especially the High Court. But now the thing is, if you are arrested, remember the common Kamata Fridays, like people are arrested on Fridays. Now the thing is, they can't take you to court. 24 hours will be the next day, which is a Saturday. So court is not sitting. So that's so they have to also take you to within reasonable time. So they'll have to take you to court on Monday morning. Yeah, so then that becomes the issue. But now the law also stipulates if it's an offense that has a maximum imprisonment of 6 months, like a traffic offense, they're supposed to release you with a bond or cash bail. Or even a misdemeanor, an offense that doesn't go above 4 years, you're supposed to be given police bail so that you don't have to stay in police custody for the weekend. Yeah, but if it's a serious, most of the time serious offense, they will hold you in custody until Monday. Yeah, so it will depend. But 24 hours applies. If you're arrested during so long as there's no holiday or a weekend, you're supposed to be taken to court within 24 hours. If it's a weekend or a holiday, it's within reasonable time, which of course here reasonable will be on Monday morning. You're supposed to be arraigned in court.
Are there cases, Jobu Anakata? What are you thinking?
Well, what she said about 24 hours, I remember there's a point in this interview where I said the police take the Constitution as an opinion that they can choose to follow or not. Well, I have a friend who was arrested. Well, he was arrested. He was rightly arrested. However, they kept him in police custody for 3 days, and this was because we were trying to raise money to give to the OCS so that he can be released and not taken to court. Yes. In fact, when people were being taken to court, he was being taken aside.
Did you demand for him to be taken to court within the law?
We did not want to demand.
You didn't know your rights?
Did you inform them?
Well, actually, I know my rights.
Okay.
Did you tell them that this person is supposed to be taken to court within 24 hours and not be taken to court?
Well, that would have been a very big problem. You know, one of the things that now, there's the law, alafu kuna vitu kwa ground. Vitu kwa ground, kitu ya kwanza najuanga, usionyeshe polisi kiburi. Usimuonyeshe unajua.
Don't mention the word no, I know my rights.
You don't know anything. There's a song where they say unapigwa kibari ya right ukizua na beast kuhusu rights. The moment you start saying I have rights, utaonyeshwa sasa.
Wakili, is that really the situation on ground, that if I tell police that I know my rights, I
can go now I won't deny that it's true. The police don't follow the law on the ground. But now it's even one of your rights under Article 49, it's you can ask a lawyer to come. Most of the time we have had clients who call us, we go to the station.
Yeah.
And we ask, that's the first thing we ask, when you've already told me you're arrested and you're 3 days in, we tell them they're infringing on your rights. And you'll go to the High Court, you'll make an application. And more than once, even you'll be released. Like completely, because now they've already infringed on your rights. But now the problem is, it's true, they don't actually follow the law on the ground. But you know, the moment, me normally say if you can, unfortunately, you're saying people who don't have money may not have that access to justice.
Yeah.
Like someone like, I don't know, Babo, you know, remember there's a video that was, he shot someone, everyone saw it. But for him, he's not in prison.
He's not.
He's out. Unfortunately, then you find people with small offenses that the ones who are in prison.
Yes.
But then so that's why I agree with you, like sometimes the people who are considered now poor in society, they're the ones who suffer most than people who have money.
Rashes, before of course you button Kinyua, Rashes, do you think mediation between police and the public will really solve the situation before maybe you're presented before court? Is it a solution? Am I heavy?
Well, in mediation, most of the time we don't dwell in criminal matters because sometimes it might be beyond our powers and stuff like that. But on the other side, I believe police and the people need to come to some middle ground and
By the
unfortunately,
it has not been adopted also by courts.
Mediation.
Courts, they adopt for other cases, they encourage people to try and mediate. But I've never heard...
For criminal
For
matters?
criminal,
Nah.
very rare. It's very rare for even court to encourage the mediation. Because you know, mediation, even though you don't, they have that option, if you don't agree, you can come back to court.
Yes.
They just give you that chance. But
Mediation
it's very
is
rare.
civil.
Mediation is
Mediation,
where
no, it's just like mediation is just people come, like not the
a
complainant.
third
and the
party
accused.
comes in to
just
help
come
the
and
To help them discuss.
It can't be done on criminal.
So, but now the thing with criminal, maybe the complainant, but sometimes the complainant, just say some complainant comes to court and says, tunaongea, especially obtaining money before pretense.
Let's come back with that. Let's take a very short break at this point. We are talking about your rights when arrested during a police search, a police stop. What do you need to do? And do you know your rights? Talk to us on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube, on X at TV47 Digital. Send us a voice note or a video of yourself on our WhatsApp line 0793-267-279. We are plugging you legally. You're watching TV47 Breakfast.
Kama invite yangu haikufika on time, but I'm glad to be here anyway.
She was my rival, my competitor. We need to shut this business down.
Hii biashara ndo kila kitu kwenye hii familia, nikufe ama nisikufe. Kama mbaya, mbaya.
We ni mnoma sana.
One truth can break everything.
Sit tight.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business.
Na leo mkorada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yaani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona hii ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo ni tonga commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Mpatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho ya kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni budi nikae mchoka.
Ni budi ya madeni.
When baking, it's important to use room temperature ingredients unless otherwise specified. If you forget to take your eggs out of the fridge in time, don't worry. Just place them in a bowl of warm water for a few minutes.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system, ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environment.
Nairobi, this isn't just a game.
This is a statement.
The world is here.
And history is about to be written.
I'm ready to play now. Put me in the game.
Speed,
Power,
precision,
glory,
and TV47
owns every moment.
This is more than football. It is a celebration of women, power, and purpose.
And at TV47, we are bringing you
every thrilling moment.
It's a red card.
Every pass,
Every tackle,
every goal,
every second,
no delays,
no filters,
no missing out.
This is the FIFA Women's Series.
Raw, real, and unstoppable. Only on TV47.
All right, it's time for your legal plug. You're watching TV47 Breakfast, and we are engaging Wakili and, of course, young Kenyans in studio to talk to us about the rights of a Kenyan when arrested or when the police stops you or as such. Do you know your rights? And once again, we do encourage you to be part of this conversation. Talk to us on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube and on X at TV47 Digital. You can tag me as well at Ann_Dide. Our WhatsApp line is also active 24/7 0793 267 279. Send us a voice note or a video of yourself. Tuambie at experience yako. Have you been arrested before? How was your experience and police custody? Before we went on that very short break, we were talking about mediation. Can it work before it escalates to, to the station or maybe to court? And Wakili, I cut you short. You're giving us a very important point there. Yeah. Umesema it can't work?
It can work. Me, I'm thinking it can only work in situations where there's a complainant, and you see sometimes I obtain money from you.
Yeah.
Maybe I obtain 200,000. You took me to court. Then we're in court, and then now we want to talk. Most of the time, when people tell court to nongea, now the complainant comes to court and tells court to nongea. We are agreeing on how you are going to pay me. Court normally even give people time. So maybe in that situation it can apply. But in some situations it may not apply, especially if the offense is against the state.
Yeah.
If it's forgery, even if I forge documents in what, it's automatically an offense against the state. So what normally applies is plea bargaining. You can talk to the prosecution if you are admitting, but not there you have to be admitting, yeah, I forged. So that's why there's plea bargaining. So sometimes you plea bargain, court says that since you have admitted the crime, so if the crime is reduced, so maybe they'll tell you pay a fine of X amount.
But let's bring it down to, the normal Kenyans. Story ni yetu sasa, wale wa Kenya wa chini. Like, of course, Jobu and Kinywa are telling us the experience with police arrests. In that particular case, before wapelekwa pale station, wambiwe kuja wende utaelezea station. Can mediation between police and the public. Now police and Jobu, police and Kenya work. Kai hapo chini aongee na afande mwambie, you know, tunaweza ongea kama watu wakubwa, tusipeleke kitu station without kupeana kitu kidogo. Because now this is something that has been normalized in this country, rushes, that this
Well, that shouldn't be the case. Because if indeed we are looking at justice, we should aim at following the right channels and to get justice. But if we can just talk to the police and let them see your view, your angle. Indeed, I'm not violating any rights. I'm on the right side of the law, and by arresting me, and in the manner that you're arresting me, you might be infringing my rights. Buddha, tuongee, usimpeleke. We can just solve this here, because if you take me, then indeed I might also bring out a case on you. So I believe we can talk in kama watu wakubwa, and kama vile Jobu alifanywa, Buddha, I'm on the right side of the law, and you should also see that I'm on the right side of the law. So I think at the point of arrest, mediation can work that way. But then it hasn't.
What do I feel? It might be risky, because it might seem one person you have to be admitting the wrong. Like you'll incriminate yourself from the beginning, because I'm thinking before we mediate, it's like one person has to admit, either the police has to admit they're on the wrong, or you yourself, you have to incriminate yourself to say I'm on the wrong.
lazima tutoe kitu kidogo.
Well, I think the power play applies.
Not incriminate myself.
Yes, no, that's the problem. You might be forced not to incriminate yourself.
Well, now, Wakili, I think I've mentioned, well, Buddha, I'm not on the right, and also on your way of arresting me, you're infringing my rights. So I think their mediation might actually work.
Can I say something about that?
Please, yes.
I think I agree with her. What I want to inform her, who has never been arrested, that's exactly what happens every time. Every time you get arrested, you negotiate with the arrester.
With the police.
Without an intention of giving kitu kidogo.
But how you do it is that he has a gun and you have nothing on your side.
Power play.
So tell me the power balance between a person with a gun. He was told that he would be killed. That person, you're supposed to negotiate with that person on how he's not supposed to do what he wants to do. So the only way is for you first to admit again crimes you've never done.
Yeah, you have to admit, and you
crimes you've never thought you could do. For instance, he's a teetotaler. If he told me right, he never drinks alcohol, he never takes anything, any substance.
Yes.
He's never intoxicated. Omera, that's so that's it. Then you are told that he was told that he had cannabis on himself. So the power play itself is out of this world. What I want to inform you is that negotiations happen every day. But in the end, you lose your money.
Negotiations. Like it's not.
It's
like at the end of the day,
you bargain on the price.
And at the end of the day, you have to pay someone money.
Justice in this country.
Well, now that she has mentioned negotiation, mediation won't work because we'll need a third party in this case, and we don't have a third party.
And mediation in this case would be, for example, kama ni kwa gari, right? You have your passenger guy there, wewe, of course, the driver ndiye anakuanga stopped hapo. So there's you as the driver who has been stopped, and of course there's a passenger, or maybe passengers that are there in this car. And then they just act as mediators in this case. Can that work?
That may work.
It happens. What happens when mkisimamishwa kwa gari, this has happened before.
Yes.
Nikani kona experience.
So lived experience.
Yeah, so like gari ikisimamishwa, see, one of the things they do, wanachukuanga fungo ya gari ama ya pikipiki. Once they do that, wanachukua dereva wanasonga naye kando. If anybody else tries to interfere in whatever is going on, unataka hata wewe tukufunge ama sawa basi toka hapa uende. And also there's where you say that we have the right to remain silent. In Kenya you don't have that. Maybe it's written in the constitution, lakini haiko. Polisi atakuuliza swali na ukikosa kumjibu ni bare.
Talk to us about that, Wakili.
The right to remain silent is even mostly protecting you from infringing yourself. Incriminating yourself. Because you know, if you're arrested and you start, you know, you may find in the process of talking you'll incriminate yourself.
Now, how are you?
Because remember, what I normally tell people, when you go to court, burden is first on the prosecution to prove their case. You can't defend yourself until they prove that offense actually happened. So that's why you can't give them more evidence on their end. So you, by talking, you may be giving them more information. And that's even I normally advise people, even that statement, don't write it or sign it. They can't write for you that statement and then you sign it. My advice ever to people, never, you're giving them more info. Because you know some people write a confession literally. So you have given them more information of how they'll do the investigation. Because the moment, can you imagine, you remain silent, you don't write a statement. if they don't have a case against you, that case will fumble. It won't go. Court will say there's no case to answer. This person is innocent. That you are acquitted. That's what people don't know. Like the burden first, they assume you're innocent.
burden lies on the
So the burden is on the prosecution, and you can't help them with their case. The problem is people assume, because even I've had someone, the family members want me to represent them, but for them they're like, oh, police, who arresting officer ameniambia nisitafute wakili.
But wakili.
No, I'm just shocked. This person is not your friend. They're even arresting you, or they tell you end up plead guilty. Ati kesi end up plead guilty. Ni kidogo sana end up plead guilty. Me, I'm like, why? How can you plead guilty? You don't even know what evidence they have. They have not proved they even have a case against you. I even tell people, if you really want to plead guilty, first plead not guilty. Let us ask for the evidence they have against you to see then if they have a case.
All right, Kenya, you have something. Righteous, you have something to say. I'm sorry about that. But Jobu, you wanted to ask something. How do you started asking wakili? How do you do what?
Well, I wanted
How
to
do
ask, how do you remain silent when every time they ask you a question and you don't answer, they hit you?
No, that's the problem. But the thing here is, me, I would say, sadly for Kenya, the way things operate, and I can't also act naive because I'm a lawyer to know the people's rights.
Yes.
On the ground, that's what I was saying, the best thing is not the way, part of recording. Or even when you say something, just make sure you're not saying anything that incriminates you. Or just say, I don't know. Or they'll continue, if they continue beating you now, that now becomes a problem. Because the important thing here is don't give them more information that will your case, or just talk about anything. Say me afande misijui.
And they're just human beings, so you need to.
Righteous, kidogo to Kenya. Righteous, before you lose your track of thought.
I was saying, I mean, they're also human beings, so how you talk to them will actually matter or result in the way.
Yeah.
Because,
police officers.
Because now they're arresting you, and now you want to show them how rude you are, or they're human beings. They'll get.
People have already said that. They've said here that police are not friends of the people.
I know, but they're human beings as well.
But you know, the thing is, I'm getting to their point. You know, you might be talking from a privileged point. You have not been in that situation. But I think for them, they completely don't give them a chance to say anything.
Let me
because
let
she
me
assumes. Let me first ask
Okay.
the question.
Kenya.
She assumes that you must have committed a crime to be arrested.
Not necessarily.
Let us tell you the truth. Most people in cell today, if you go to a cell, have not committed one single crime.
They don't even know what
they were arrested arbitrarily in the streets, and they were bungled up in the what he was calling the Mariamu.
Yeah.
And today they are going to spend tonight in a cell, not for doing anything. So even in the idea of you are supposed to remain silent, you can't remain silent when you have been arrested for doing nothing. Now, like, I have to ask, why have I been arrested? And then we have to negotiate.
No, you have a right to remain silent. That's what I'm telling you, remaining silent. Of course, you have to ask why you're being arrested. That you're not giving any information there.
That's a slap.
You're
slap
asking
one.
why I've been. And then now, if they don't tell you why you're being arrested, that's what I'm saying, maybe you can press a recording.
Yeah.
Remaining silent, I don't tell people remaining silent is for you not to incriminate yourself. Remember, you're not a lawyer, so you might say something for you feel it's innocent. But you're giving them a more leeway to investigate.
The issue of, there's something we're talking about when we were on that break, you know, the rights to privacy. These police officers, when you're recording them, then can't they use that against you, who is recording them, and intends to use this as evidence in court?
But you know why that cannot happen? I normally tell people when you're using this thing in court, mostly you want to counter a lie. So of course for them they'll be claiming they followed the law. Of course that's automatically what they'll go and claim. They followed the law in arresting you. So for you, bring your recording as to counter a lie. But now the thing is, that's why I say a lawyer has to be there. When there's a recording, so long as you're presenting evidence before court from a secondary, you're not bringing from the primary. Remember, you won't take your phone to court and have it recorded. What you do is you'll bring out that information, or even maybe you have that recording, but you can also put it in written form, and then swear. There's a certificate you have to swear under the Evidence Act. Under the Evidence Act, you have to swear a certificate confirming that that was your phone. That phone was, you even put the code of the phone. That phone was in good condition by the time you are recording this, and it has never passed into any person's custody. It has always been in your custody to support that evidence. And then what happens, it's the power not falls on the court. Of course, other people might counter saying maybe it was infringement of privacy, but in most instances, in such a scenario, court might look at it as this was someone's rights being infringed. Unless, or maybe you're saying that voice is not mine. But not therefore him, you're saying they're even mentioning their names. So it will be the discretion of the court. Now the discretion is on the judge who is listening to all the evidence to make a determination. But normally the moment, you know, for them they're claiming, so what evidence, so for them the evidence is, you're saying now, you're alleging. The burden is on the person who alleges. So when this audio comes in, how will they counter it? Their defense will not be, it's you're infringing on my privacy. Is the contents true? But the only thing maybe they may fight is for it even to be recorded in court, for it to be heard before court, and court will determine that.
Now that you've mentioned something on the videos, an idea came. What's happening with this era of AI? Are we sure that video is true?
Yeah. So I think now for this era of AI, what will happen now, and court will now call an independent expert. If people bring out issues of this one might not be true, court themselves will get an independent expert who's not even part of the case to come now and scrutinize that video and give a report to court. Yeah, in such scenarios now court brings independent witnesses.
That's a very good question. The era of AI, tunaona a lot of videos and photos.
So
that have
the moment someone raises an issue, but the burden is normally on the person who alleges. So the one alleging, that's an AI. But in most scenarios now, court, especially in this area that is still new, what court will do will bring an independent witness who experts, they call them experts, who will now present to court and say, no, is this video AI or real? And then now the expert will, and explaining it.
But Wakili, I'm still against the idea of recording during an arrest because I still believe that it's infringing the police officers' right. In as much as they're infringing my right.
But even let's talk about what is right to, is that a private situation? It's a public.
I know it's a public.
It's a public situation.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's also hear what our viewers are saying this morning. Do at least we have that voice note.
Good morning. I'm Richard from Naivasha. I am watching this program you're having right now. I wish to ask you one question as I make my contribution. Do those Kenyans realize that the police also have got their own rights? I am not a policeman, but I've witnessed a lot of cases where people do not respect the police in any way. For example, how do you expect a police officer to react when a civilian throws stones to them? During the Gen Z uprising, I witnessed a policewoman literally being chased down the street until she had to jump over a wall, a perimeter wall, into a certain compound. So what do you expect can happen in such a situation if that police is cornered and she is carrying a gun in their hand and people are pelting stones at that police officer? Please, as you bring these programs, also inform those youths that the police also have got their rights. And as they go about seeking for their rights, they also have to respect the law. They have to respect law enforcement agencies. We watched youths almost poking the police eyes with their fingers. In fact, uttering very palatable words that I can't express here. Nobody speaks about that. All that you people do is to say that the police are unruly and all the police are what? Speak for the policeman too. Who will fight for the policeman? That policeman in the street who is also going through the hardship that other Kenyans are going through. Let's tell each other the truth. The media should be on the forefront of informing Kenyans that they actually need to respect the police, they need to respect the law, that they don't operate under absolute freedom. There's no absolute freedom. So everybody doing something must know their consequences. And sometimes the consequences turn out to be very dire, such that the situation cannot be redeemed. So be careful when making some utterances, and the media, please take the lead in making everyone know that we are all under the law, that nobody operates outside that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that feedback. And as we come to the end of the discussion, that will be the close of the show for us. Because watu wa Kisumu wanataka kuniekelea bed. That's the end of thought. I want to start with you, Raishes. What do you make of the statement from that feedback that we have received? Especially, we mentioned a lot of things about police, right? Under 30 seconds, of course. Who will fight for the policemen, even as we talk about the rights of the arrested person?
Okay. Well, you've noticed from throughout the interview, I've been on the side of the police in a way, because there are limitations to right. You all know that. But then also, the police should act accordingly. Well, you can't come arresting the people and be brutal and violate their rights and expect them to. We're all human beings, number one. Number two, I believe also we should consider the police in a way, because in the circumstance he's talked about, he's mentioned, oh, he was cornered, he was done this too, and all that. So as we are trying to protect our rights, you're also violating the police's rights. And also, the citizen should consider that. Then I mentioned also in the aspect of recording and all that, we are violating his privacy. Right, Article 28, we are denying them dignity if we treat them in a poor manner. So I believe we should also uphold their rights, and as much as we are upholding our rights, yes, that's my view.
Jobu, in 30 seconds, please. What do you make of that statement?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that I'm almost 100% sure that that viewer has never been arrested. First and foremost, the police, they do not just react, they act. So if you say that a police officer was cornered and he has a gun, why can't you just run away? Is running away something that you can't do? You don't have to shoot us, just run away. And for the citizens to reach to a point where they're throwing stones, it means that they were agitated so that they can do that. And when he says that we do not have express freedom, well, first we have the freedom of expression. That means that I can come here and decide to call you a certain name. However, how you react to that is up to you. If you decide to punch me, I will sue you for assault. But you can't sue me for calling you whatever I called you.
Unfortunately, our time is up. And Wakili and Kinyua, unfortunately, we won't have time for a reaction on that. But that brings us to the end of this conversation. We were talking about the law this morning. What are your rights as an arrested person? Are you aware of them? If you're arrested during a police stop, a police search, what do you need to do? And we can continue this conversation, and of course on our socials kama kawaida, TV47 Kenya, on Facebook and on YouTube and on X at TV47 Digital. Remember to tag me so that we can sample your feedback at @Ann_Dida, and our WhatsApp line is also active, 0793267279. Talk to us. Story ni yetu, tukiendeleza kuongelelea story zetu ni zipi. Ruth Tani, advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Kinyua Njeri, youth rights defender. Murimi Kogi, an activist. And of course, Russia's Kitui, a certified public mediator. These are our guests this morning who have been speaking to us about the law. Thank you so much for watching. This is TV47 Breakfast. My name is Ann Odida. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.